As always, Darren, we have a special episode for you guys, but we have a guest joining us. Darren, would you like to introduce our guest
Yes,
today?
I would qualify this an extra special episode. We have local singer songwriter Rob Cooperman here in studio. Say hello, Rob.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, it's going very well. We appreciate you showing up, and we have a very specific thing we want to chat with you about. But before we do that, Rob, why don't you tell people a little bit about your type of music, what you play, and where people can experience the Rob Cooperman sound?
Sure. My stuff is, I guess I would consider it kind of funky folk rock.
Nice.
Um, I had some big influences way back in the day from Dave Matthews and Guster and all the acoustic singer-songwriter type stuff, and then just growing up in Texas and spending a lot of time in Austin got kind of infused with a lot of that funk and blues sound. So I put out an album a few years ago called Anthology of Apologies. You can find that on just about any streaming service that's out there. So Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. I think it's even on Tidal. So if you're like a true audiophile and you want lossless quality, you can check me out on Tidal.
That's funny. We were just talking about your perfectionism, or at least the pursuit of perfectionism, as it tends to be, right? If you're always going for perfect, you don't ever get there. But that's funny. Title. Nobody's going to get that reference, but us. I really appreciate that. It's basically for those of you that don't know, an audiophile location for us to go listen to music that has recorded the way it was meant to be, we'll say. It's the simple put version. That's cool. That's fun. I'm glad to know that you have it there. I might go take a listen.
Well,
Cool,
now
cool.
that
Yeah,
you
the perfectionism is a character flaw that I'm working on. I've managed to allow myself a little bit of leeway and and not necessarily needing everything to be perfect so much in the studio these days. So
Well, it's
I'm
it's
super thrilled though with the way that the album turned out. I was fortunate to have a lot of really talented friends come and join me on that project and really help me realize the vision that I had for each of those songs. So that process and that journey was probably a giant headache for just about everyone involved, including myself. But, I've learned to kind of let go of some things and give up some control and give up some some quality control, I guess, as well.
I mean, perfectionism isn't the worst thing to have, but if you can't let go, you are having trouble. However, you have an album out, so question answered.
Yes, sir. I
Yes.
do.
awesome. Well, now that you nerds are done talking about the technology side of music, we'll get to the big news. So, very recently, Rob is the local boy that's done well. He opened up for the national touring act, Sister Hazel. So, I guess I got to make the joke that this interview's all for you.
Hey.
Yeah. So, he
Hey.
recently played at Beck's Backyard. He opened for the band Sister Hazel, and we're here to chat with his experience. So, Rob, I got to ask you straight up: is this the largest the crowd that you played for? Did you get nervous? And so, how did you overcome those nerves?
I don't know that it was necessarily the largest crowd that I've played for over the years, playing with bands. We've played some festival stages and nothing like ACL, so it um, wasn't anything a crowd of that magnitude. But we played some stuff at Waterloo Park, and we played um, a couple of different places and hey, I mean, we used to pack some dance floors down on Sixth Street too, so
Hey.
it was tons of fun with my old bands, the American Sideshow, and then before that was Jacks and Sixes. That was really cool. That was back in college. But the crowd um, this past Friday was significant. I'll put it that way. It was definitely, I would say, the biggest, if not from a crowd standpoint, but the most important gig to me. Sister Hazel has been one of my biggest influences ever since I became a songwriter or a musician, started playing guitar. I To answer your question about nerves, I didn't really get nervous. I don't tend to really get nervous. For me, that that gets the nerves kind of get converted into energy and passion, and I just bring it with me to the stage, and I let it all out and leave it on the stage. And I feel like there's always this symbiotic relationship between the crowd and the performer. And if you're giving them everything that you have from an energy standpoint, they're going to give you that energy back, and it just builds on each other. And everybody just has a great time when you put it all out there. I would say the part of the night that I got nervous was when Sister Hazel pulled me up on stage
Oh,
during
wow.
their set.
Hey.
That I actually got to sing a song with Sister Hazel, and for a brief moment, I
You
had
remember
that,
the band.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just before I walked on stage was like, oh my gosh, is this happening?
That's
I've
awesome.
been waiting a long time, not just to, it's been a bucket list item for me to open for these
Yeah.
guys,
So
and then on top of that, to be able to join them on stage was
What did
was
you
really
what
a
did
dream.
you end up doing? What
yeah,
you
what
join
song
them?
was it?
Yeah.
They brought me up there for a song called Swan Dive, which is a big crowd favorite of theirs. It's really
Yeah.
cool. When Ken, the lead singer, was asking me which parts I wanted to sing, I said, that
Yes.
particular song has a really convenient call and response part. So I said, I can sing Drew's part if you want to just do the call and response, but I won't turn down a verse if you want to throw a verse my way. And he said, oh, let me think about it. And he said, yeah, let's do that. You take the first verse, and then
The
when it comes to the
first
chorus, well,
verse. Yes.
yeah, let me open. And now I don't know if he regrets that or not, because I
Yes.
think that was one moment when I let my nerves get I was
Yes.
so excited to be on stage that I cut the intro short and I started singing before I was supposed to, and I just didn't even realize it until after the show when I watched
Yeah.
videos of the performance,
Yeah.
and I was cringing so hard that it was, that was my moment, and I went and I effed it up.
No, they're all pros. Everybody, I'm sure, got on the
They were.
bandwagon, made the adjustments, and got there. It was fine. They've done it
They
a
did. It
million
was.
times. I swear, he probably would have let in that way if you hadn't. It's not a big deal.
I appreciate the thank you
Yeah.
for the comforting words. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
appreciate that, Mike.
Well, I was
Yeah.
going
And
to
that
ask.
you're right. They're total pros. They
Hmm.
absolutely they covered it. I don't think anybody in the crowd was any of the wiser.
No.
Nobody could have known
No.
at any point, and they just they cut to the pre-chorus a little bit early.
Yep.
Fortunately, the intro was the same chords and
Yeah.
progression as the verse.
That
And,
helps.
They're all pros,
but
man.
I was so excited to be there. I just jumped the gun.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that's the point.
And I know that, but the band knows. That's what bugs
Yeah.
me, is that they know, and it's
I
like, that was the
guarantee.
moment. That was my shot.
I mean
Oh,
this
five
as a
minutes
good
was over
thing.
there. They didn't think
I
about
yeah,
it.
I mean this is a good thing too. Not that you're an amazing person, but I guarantee is what Darren said. 5 minutes after it was over, they're on to the next thing for sure. They're not
Oh, sure.
concerned. I'm sure they loved having you every second of it. I'm sure it was great.
Well,
It was a
so
blast.
did you know ahead of time? Did you have to go and learn that song, or you already know the song?
I'm pretty familiar with most of their music, and
Got
that
it.
one is definitely one that I had down. I was practicing that one in particular leading up to the show in case the opportunity were to arise, because I
That's
had
great.
mentioned that to them
That's
beforehand.
great.
So
So what was? Yeah, I was going to ask you what's the most memorable thing, but I think you just answered it. Take us backstage at Bucks and hanging out with the band. Was there any interaction? What was that scene like? Paint a picture.
Bucks is such a cool venue, man. I can't say enough about how welcoming and accommodating their entire staff is. I would recommend anybody who has the opportunity to go and see a show at Bucks, absolutely check it out. Great sound system, great stage, great sound guy, awesome bartenders, awesome food. That was one of the things. They were giving me the tour of the venue, and they were like, "Oh, the green room's back here," and I was kind of like, "Oh man, green room, all right, cool, I'm big time now." And he leads me back to the green room, and Sister Hazel's back there just hanging out and like, "Hey man, if you want some food, just order some food. There's a band tab, and they have great wings." So I munched on some wings and just hanging out back there, just shooting the breeze and talking about pastime, because I've been going to their shows ever since I was a teenager, and that was I think I saw them live for the first time when I was 15. And after that show, I begged my parents for a guitar and
That's great.
started writing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, that's
It was
awesome.
awesome.
So if you're just
And
joining, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, it's all right.
So,
And I remember there was a moment with the bassist that I had, and because he had commented one time, back when my album became fully funded on Kickstarter. I did a Kickstarter campaign before I started working on my album, and he had congratulated me at a show. He said, "Hey man, I heard you got an album coming out. Congrats on that, and also congrats on just growing up to be a really cool, chill dude."
Nice.
And I like
Nice.
having this rock star bassist tell me that was kind of that had a little feather in my cap moment there. And I remember sitting backstage in the green room with him last week, talking to him. I was like, "Hey, did you ever think that silly, obnoxious, energetic kid bouncing up and down in the front row of your shows when he was 15 would grow up to be opening for you?" That was a cool moment, just hanging out with them backstage, just like I was supposed to be there. It was fun.
Well, it sounds like you got a lifetime of memories, and I'm sure the people that attended the show did so as well. If you're just joining
definitely.
us, you are listening to 94.3 FM radio, Wimberley Valley Radio. We're with local singer-songwriter Rob Cooperman. Rob, thank you so much for sharing this. Tell people where they can get your music and how they find a list of your upcoming shows.
So you can catch everything pretty much at robcooperman.com. My album Anthology of Apologies is streaming on whatever your streaming platform of choice is: Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, all the good stuff.
Tidal.
Tidal, yeah. Lossless quality if you want to really experience it. You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just look up my name, Rob Cooperman. I usually post about my shows there.
Good. So what's next? So what's the next? What do you see in your future in the next 12 to 24 months?
Man, I miss playing with a band. So this last show that I did, I opened acoustic with my lead guitarist. His name is William Wallace, just a phenomenally talented
What a
guitarist.
great name.
Yeah, no kidding.
Probably
Right?
good at fighting too.
Sorry. Yeah.
And he brings that bravery to the stage.
Oh, well
for
done.
sure.
Well done.
He just adds such an incredible dynamic to my tunes, and I'm really fortunate to have somebody like him willing to play with me. I try to surround myself with people who are more talented than I am, and
That's the smart way to go.
definitely knocked it out of the park with him. And it's super fun to jam, just as an acoustic duo, but I miss the energy of being on stage with a band. And I've played with a few bands throughout the years, and then had a solo project that was a full band solo project, and that's what the album is. It's a solo project, but it's full band, fully produced. And then I was playing acoustic around town pretty frequently prior to the pandemic, and then the pandemic kind of shut everything down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of slow to get back out there when things started opening up. I felt a little guilty being the guy saying, "Hey, everybody, come congregate in a crowd indoors and listen to me play." I was skeptical at first for that, and so I haven't really sought out too many performances just yet. I've gotten a few calls from booking agent. "Hey, I got your number from so and so. I've got an opening. Would you be interested?" And I've had some really great opportunities come my way from stuff like that. But I'd like to really put a full band project back together. That cohesiveness and that energy, and that just when everybody's contributing their piece of the puzzle, and you've got everybody firing on all cylinders, and there's something really special when it all comes together in a full band on stage. And I think that's probably where my mind is right now, where my heart is headed.
Well, good for you. So you used the word special. This was a special occasion, you opening up for Sister Hazel. You have special music, and we thank you for your time. And everybody check out robcooperman.com. Support your local artists.
Rob, thank you so much for joining us. Really enjoyed it. You, and Neil Young will be checking your stuff out on Tidal for sure. We'll have a listen. Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Cheers.